Hi everyone, welcome back to our weekly budget by paycheck video. We're going to be budgeting out our first paycheck of October, which happens to be October 2nd. I like to use a zero-based budget and I like to do it on Excel. I have a budget template that I created several years ago. Every year I kind of modify it to see what works for us. Maybe there's other things I want to track. It kind of has evolved over the years. If you want to get your own copy and do your budgets along with me using my Excel sheet, you can find it on Etsy. I'll leave a link down in the description. But basically a zero-based budget is that we're going to tell every dollar where to go. So not only do I encourage you to have a new budget every month because different expenses can come up or your income might change, I also encourage you to budget out every single paycheck, whether you get paid every week like we do, or maybe you get paid twice a month or once a month, whatever the case might be. I encourage you to budget out every single one or cash flow every single one. That way you know exactly what you're going to do with what. So let's jump on the Excel sheet and we'll get started. Alright, so like I said, we're going to be doing the 2nd of October. So the first thing I usually do whenever I'm doing my weekly budget or my weekly finances, I mentioned this in a few other videos, is I jump on our Discover It credit card and I put down what we have spent leading up to that point to make sure we cover certain bills and things like that. So on my budget template, I actually do have over here on the side card, so that's my Discover It card. So anytime I make a purchase on that card, or if Ricky makes a purchase on that card, I line it up with what category we're going to count it as. I actually just finished doing our grocery shopping. So our groceries for the week, we spent $192.53. So basically we did our meal delivery service, which is through Home Chef. We get 3 meals a week, and that was $50 and some change. And then I spent the rest of that money at the grocery store. Some of the things I bought I normally don't buy, or maybe it's supposed to last us more than 1 week, so we'll kind of see how it goes. But this time I was very aware of what I was spending at the store. I basically set myself, I said, okay, I have $150 to spend at the grocery store, and I made sure when I went through the store to actually use my calculator on my phone so I didn't go over budget. If you watch September's budget, we went over budget quite a bit. Now if you see, I basically have maybe $7 left within our grocery or our food budget. So this week we're going to try not to eat out, but if we do end up eating fast food, it's going to be the dollar menu only one time. So we're going to try our best to stay within our $200 a week. We are a family of 4, so basically that's $50 per person per week is what we're kind of shooting for, and that's just our overall food budget. So that's what we have there. Personal care, we did end up doing $5. We ended up needing to get some more of those. The girls really like those flossers, the little individual flossers, so we got a pack of that, and then I had to get some deodorant, so personal care. Gas, basically I just paid part of the gas that we've already spent this week. I will be filling up my gas tank probably tomorrow, so this would actually probably go up before next week, but we have $45 in the checking account for the rest of the week. We did budget $80 for the week, and I mentioned we've already spent about half of that for the week. We have our insurance that got charged onto the Discover card, so we already have that money in the bank, so we're good with that. And then Elsa, my youngest, she had some birthday money in her savings, so she did spend $10 when we went to the store today, so I'm gonna have to just move $10 out of her account. Our internet is $92.01. I pay for that through my self-employment, so I've already put that money in our account, so that's going to be covered. The PlayStation, we have the money for that. And then $12, I put it under event. This was actually, I ended up just getting a 12-pack of beer. So $12 for the event and $5 for personal care is the only thing I really need to add onto this week's budget to cover what we did. The other thing I do coming onto our weekly budget is I update the current paycheck based on what income we actually received on our pay stubs, and then I update future paychecks or future weeks based on what I foresee or what we've kind of worked. So I do need to make some updates to almost every week this month. So the first thing is my husband's base pay is $22 an hour, 40 hours a week. So that is what it was. So I'm going to make it black now because that's the official number. And then when I get to my actuals number over here, I like to start making them orange because I know that's numbers we're working with. His overtime was actually $342.65, so that was more than I anticipated it to be. And mine was a little less. Oh wait, no, mine was a little more. It was $259.20. Now I mentioned earlier when I did my October plan that the job site that Ricky was going to get overtime, he was going there on Saturdays. They said they were no longer going to do Saturdays. But then his current job site, who normally does no overtime, said basically for this week and next week they are doing 10-hour days and they're doing 10-hour Saturdays. So I need to update the 9th and the 16th. So for him, he's actually going to have, it should be around $660 of overtime because he's going to have about 20 hours of overtime for those 2 paychecks. And then the 23rd, I think, would be maybe 10 hours of overtime instead of the 8. And then we're going to leave the 30th with no overtime. So we wanted to update that. Myself for the 9th, I work a flex schedule. So I can work anywhere from 15 to 29 hours a week, $15 an hour. So for the 9th, basically my last week's pay, I only got like 19 hours and like 10 minutes. So $287.50. A rough estimate of what it will be. The rest of these I'm going to go ahead and leave at $300. I was actually trained on 2 other things within the warehouse now that I've officially been with the Amazon for a whole month. I am also, so I was trained on 2 new things. I was trained on doing non-con processor, which non-con are basically all the really big boxes that can't fit on the conveyor belts. So I was trained on that, and I was trained as a water spider, basically someone who closes out pallets once they're full. So basically both of those positions require working with label makers and printing out different labels and stuff like that. So I got trained on 2 new things. As well, Amazon is actually converting me to a permanent employee. So I'll be making some more Amazon videos for you guys. And you guys, I'll explain more about what that whole thing is. Now, I mentioned that I signed up for the 401k through Amazon. They match 50 cents for every dollar that you put in, up to 4%. So I'm only doing 4%. I did choose the Roth option. I had someone ask a question on one of the other videos if Ricky's work offers a Roth 401k option. Unfortunately, they do not. So Ricky's is a standard 401k, which is before taxes, and mine is a Roth option, which is after taxes. I signed up about 2 weeks ago, so this paycheck actually was not in effect, so we're going to take that $10 out because I did not get anything on there or contributed there. And then we are going to make this one blue. I like to make this blue for anything that's being saved or invested, or if it's put in savings for future bills and then brought out. I like to make it blue so I can see instantly that that money's still there, it's not spent or it's invested or something. Just kind of gives me that visual. And again, I'm going to make this orange on the side here. So Ricky, I have this auto calculating 8% of his income and his overtime go directly into his 401k. So $97.81 was put into the 401k. Starting next year, we're actually going to be lowering it to 6% because we're trying to pay off all of our debt. I did have a regular Roth IRA. I was putting $50 a month into. I went ahead and paused those auto contributions just because I'm doing the Roth 401k, which will basically, the 4% still going to be around that $50. And the main reason I did that is because I will be getting that match from Amazon. The key thing here though is that everything that Amazon matches, I technically will not own it. I will not have access to it until I've been with Amazon for 3 years. So I'm trying to tell myself that I'm doing a commitment of 3 years with Amazon, and I'm actually going to pursue a PA position, which is a processing assistant, kind of like an assistant manager type role. So I will be pursuing that over the next couple months. Hopefully I will be in that position, and then at that point I would actually go from part-time to full-time. So the only thing that's kind of stopping me right now is the fact that I'm still doing online school with my girls at home every morning. So once they're back and they're officially back in school, then I can commit to a full-time schedule. So we're just kind of, but I've already had 2 trainers at Amazon tell me that I should be a PA, and I actually have my manager who now actually approached me and wanted to know, you know, if I was interested in moving up, and I said actually I am. I'm just kind of waiting for the schedule. So that's why they had me train on a few new things. She basically said that she's going to have me train on almost everything in the warehouse, and she'll have me shadow a PA. So they're gonna prep me. So I'm actually really excited about that. Even though I've been at this warehouse for, you know, only 1 month, this is actually my 4th time working at an Amazon warehouse, so that's why it's kind of moving a lot faster. Typically, you're not going to see someone who's only been there a month trying to go into management. So it's just because this is my 4th time with Amazon. But yeah, so that's going there. They automatically take out $5 from his paycheck for donations. Now we're going to go ahead and update the taxes based on how much actually came out. So for federal, it was actually only $13.50. This was state was $25.46. $20.02 for Medicare, and $85.66 for that, and the rest are the same. So we're gonna go ahead and make these black because these come out of my husband's paycheck automatically. And then you can see we have our family life insurance, his long-term disability, and our health insurance. So he is in construction. He's a pipe fitter apprentice, and it's a very, you know, they can be in a very dangerous situation. So his employer does provide basic life insurance for him, and it does provide some type of long-term disability or disability for him as well. This is for additional over the amount that his employer does provide, in addition to life insurance for myself and our kids. So that's that. So we're going to go ahead and make these orange because these are the categories that we chose we wanted to pay for this week. And I'm actually going to make this blue because I've already transferred that into the savings account, and the amount was actually a little bit more. 24 is what I put in there already. And those, because we're kind of like a month ahead on bills, so what we're doing is we're putting that money in savings, and then the week that is due, I pull it out of savings and I put it in the checking account that the mortgage company automatically withdraws from. One thing I mentioned when we did the monthly budget was that this is a 5 paycheck month for us, so that's something that's different. So a few things here are we're spending more money on. One is groceries because we have an extra week to cover. Same thing with gas because we have an extra week to cover. And then we have these are in savings as well. So I have $1.01 I went over. I must have miscalculated something earlier. All right, so $5.99.23. All right, so that's where everything's at. So you saw, if you look over here, this is our necessities account. So I have the $200 in there for the food. We still have $45 for gas. This is actually for this current month, and so if I look over here, this is the other savings that I was talking about. So I have part of the mortgage payment, which I was off slightly. I need to figure out what that is. I have it $5.99.23. I'll change something at the bottom. I have our cell phone bills for the 17th. The money's in there. I have our insurance payment now for the next week. I have the girls' money, and we have these bills, and then we have our vacation fund in there. So that's kind of where I've already moved everything around. So we have our $5.99.23. So out of this next one, we're going to need $441.11. We're going to keep the $200. The electric, we're going to estimate $100. So I think we'll be able to put more in the car payment, possibly. We'll see. Yeah, so we can actually do the entire car payment next month or next week. Nope. Okay, so I forgot. I need to make sure I'm covering that $5 personal care that we spent. and out of this events, $12. So I want to try to keep our budget at only the $100. So I'm going to go ahead and change that to 88. Basically, I've spent part of it already. So we're going to go ahead and put some into for the truck payment. $130.66. So out of this one, we just need $239.17, and then we won't need anything out of that the other paycheck there. Let's see what we got. So we're gonna make sure. So we're doing the zero-based budget, right? So we were telling every dollar where to go. So you can see here I still have 800 and 300. I need to continue to tell it where to go. So we're just gonna come through the necessities and move a majority of this, probably all of it, over to these and open these up. I am gonna add $100 to our giving. This month is mine and Ricky's anniversary, which we did a joint wedding with my friends, so I like to send them kind of like an anniversary thing, plus it's her birthday, so I want to make sure I'm sending something their way. This other $100 is earmarked for Christmas. We're starting to save up for Christmas, so I'm going to go ahead and we're going to do that. Vacation savings, so it's just going to be a matter of, you know, these next couple of months. If we have this much, if I'm able to do that, if I'm able to do $1,739 this month, then hopefully I won't be adding anything to that savings when December comes around. We'll start paying off the truck. So that's what I like to do, just kind of update what we're going to foresee there. Yeah, so there you go. So our very first paycheck of October. We have 5 paychecks in October, so hopefully we'll make a little more progress on our savings goal. I think I did really well keeping in our grocery budget this week. We just got to see how the week ends out as far as if I end up eating out or if we end up eating out at all. So I'm going to try my best not to at this point when it comes to fast food and eating out. It's just a matter of taking it 1 week at a time or maybe even 1 day at a time. When I worked on Thursday, I was very tempted to say, oh, I'm just going to get some fast food, you know, on my way to work. But I made sure that I ate something at the house before I left, so that way I was not tempted to get something to eat. So I did end up purchasing some more like ready type meals, more prepped meals, some frozen type meals this week to hopefully prevent me from eating out. So we'll see how that goes. But yeah, so thanks for joining me, and I will see you next week. Bye.